discover the remarkable life of Albert Einstein, the scientist whose ideas transformed our understanding of space, time, and the universe. In this documentary, we explore Einstein's journey from a curious young thinker to one of history's most influential minds. Beyond his groundbreaking scientific discoveries, Einstein's life offers timeless lessons about curiosity, imagination, independent thinking, patience, humility, and the lifelong pursuit of knowledge. More than a story about physics, this documentary reveals how one person's willingness to ask difficult questions changed the way humanity understands reality. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, investor, scientist, engineer, educator, or lifelong learner, Einstein's philosophy encourages us to think deeply, remain curious, and never stop exploring new ideas. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe, and share the lesson from Albert Einstein that inspired you the most. New documentaries featuring legendary investors, inventors, entrepreneurs, innovators, scientists, artists, and visionaries are coming soon. Until next time, keep learning from the legends. Albert Einstein, the mind that changed our understanding of the universe. Part 1. The courage to think differently. What if the greatest discoveries did not begin with answers, but with questions? What if change in the world required nothing more extraordinary than refusing to stop wondering? Throughout history, only a handful of people have changed the way humanity understands reality itself. Albert Einstein was one of them. His ideas transformed science, redefined space and time, and forever changed the way we see the universe. Yet his greatest lesson extends far beyond physics. Einstein reminds us that imagination, curiosity, and independent thinking are among the most powerful forces a person can develop. He was never satisfied with accepting the world as it appeared. He wanted to understand why it worked the way it did. That relentless curiosity led to discoveries that continue to shape modern technology, science, and human understanding. This is the story of Albert Einstein, the mind that changed our understanding of the universe. Chapter 1. A Curious Beginning. Albert Einstein was born in Germany in 1879. As a child, he often seemed quiet and thoughtful. Rather than rushing to answers, he spent time reflecting on questions that fascinated him. How does light travel? What is time? Why do the laws of nature remain the same? These questions would remain with him for years. His curiosity was not driven by the desire for recognition. It was driven by a genuine love of understanding. The greatest learners are often those who continue asking questions long after others stop. Chapter 2. Thinking Beyond the Obvious. Einstein discovered that many accepted ideas deserved another look. Instead of assuming that conventional thinking was always correct, he examined problems from new perspectives. He imagined impossible situations, asked unusual questions, and followed his reasoning wherever it led. His willingness to think differently became one of his greatest strengths. Innovation often begins when someone is willing to question assumptions that everyone else accepts. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs begin with a single question. What if we've been looking at this the wrong way? Chapter 3. The Power of Imagination. Einstein once emphasized the importance of imagination in learning and discovery. To him, imagination was not fantasy. It was the ability to explore possibilities beyond current knowledge. Every great invention, every scientific discovery, every meaningful innovation began as an idea that did not yet exist. Imagination allows us to see tomorrow before it arrives. Knowledge helps us understand the present. Imagination helps us create the future. Chapter 4. Learning Never Ends. Albert Einstein never viewed learning as something that ended with school. Every new discovery raised new questions. Every answer opened another door. The pursuit of knowledge became a lifelong journey. His example reminds us that wisdom is not measured by how much we know. It is measured by our willingness to continue learning. Those who remain curious continue growing, and those who continue growing often discover possibilities that others never see. Closing reflection. Albert Einstein reminds us that some of life's greatest discoveries begin with quiet curiosity, a willingness to ask thoughtful questions, to imagine new possibilities, and to think independently. In the next chapter, we'll explore Einstein's greatest discoveries, the challenges he faced, and the timeless lessons his remarkable life continues to teach generations around the world. Albert Einstein, the mind that changed our understanding of the universe. Part 2, the power of deep thinking. Chapter 5, asking better questions. Albert Einstein believed that great discoveries begin with great questions. Instead of accepting the world as it appeared, he asked why it worked the way it did. Why does light behave the way it does? What is time? Can space itself change? These were not simple questions. They required years of careful thought. Einstein teaches us that the quality of our questions often determines the quality of our understanding. Sometimes asking the right question is more valuable than finding a quick answer. Chapter 6, Patience and Discovery. Many of Einstein's greatest ideas did not appear overnight. They developed slowly, through reflection, careful reasoning, and persistent curiosity. He understood that meaningful progress often requires patience. In a world that rewards speed, Einstein reminds us that wisdom often grows quietly. Some problems cannot be rushed. Some discoveries reveal themselves only after years of thoughtful effort. Patience is not an activity. It is disciplined persistence. Chapter 7, Simplicity and Understanding. Einstein had a remarkable ability to explain complex ideas in simple ways. He believed that true understanding allows us to communicate clearly. Complexity may impress people. Clarity helps people learn. This lesson extends far beyond science. Whether we are teaching, leading, building a business, or solving problems, simplicity creates understanding. The clearest explanation is often the strongest. Chapter 8, Humility Before Knowledge. Despite his extraordinary achievements, Einstein remained aware of how much humanity had yet to discover. Every answer opened new questions. Every breakthrough revealed new mysteries. The more he learned, the more he appreciated the vastness of the unknown. Humility and curiosity often grow together. Those who believe they know everything stop searching. Those who recognize there's always more to learn continue growing throughout life. Closing reflection. Albert Einstein reminds us that knowledge is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. Great discoveries begin with curiosity. They grow through patience. They are strengthened by clear thinking, and they are guided by the humility to continue learning. In the next chapter, we'll explore Einstein's enduring legacy, the challenges he faced, and why his way of thinking continues to inspire scientists, entrepreneurs, educators, and lifelong learners around the world. Albert Einstein, the mind that changed our understanding of the universe. Part 3, A Legacy of Independent Thinking. Chapter 9, The Courage to Challenge Assumptions. Throughout history, progress has often begun with someone willing to question what everyone else accepted. Albert Einstein was one of those people. He respected the work of the scientists who came before him, but he also understood that knowledge continues to evolve. Instead of asking, "What does everyone believe?" he asked, "What does the evidence suggest?" That distinction changed history. Independent thinking does not mean rejecting tradition. It means having the courage to examine ideas with an open and curious mind. The greatest discoveries are often made by those willing to ask one more question. Chapter 10, Imagination and Reality. Einstein believed that imagination and knowledge work together. Knowledge explains what we already understand. Imagination helps us explore what we have not yet discovered. Many of his greatest breakthroughs began as thought experiments. He imagined impossible situations, followed their logic, and allowed his curiosity to guide him toward new insights. Every invention, every business, every work of art began as an idea in someone's imagination. The future is often created by people who dare to imagine possibilities before they exist. Chapter 11, A Lifelong Student. Although Albert Einstein became one of the world's most respected scientists, he never stopped learning. He continued reading, questioning, discussing ideas, and refining his understanding throughout his life. True wisdom is not measured by how much we know today. It is measured by our willingness to continue learning tomorrow. The most accomplished people often remain the most curious because they understand that knowledge has no finish line. Chapter 12, Success Beyond Recognition. Albert Einstein received worldwide recognition for his work. Yet fame was never his greatest achievement. His greatest contribution was changing the way humanity understood the universe. Recognition may come and go, but meaningful ideas can endure for generations. Lasting success is built not only on accomplishment, it is built on contribution. The greatest legacies belong to those who leave the world with a deeper understanding than they found it. Closing reflection. Albert Einstein reminds us that extraordinary thinking begins with ordinary curiosity. One thoughtful question, one patient observation, one willingness to see the world from a different perspective. His life teaches us that imagination without discipline remains only a dream. But imagination combined with careful thinking can reshape history. In the final chapter, we'll explore Einstein's enduring legacy and the timeless lessons that continue to inspire scientists, entrepreneurs, educators, innovators, and lifelong learners around the world. Albert Einstein, the mind that changed our understanding of the universe. Part 4, The Timeless Lesson. Chapter 13, A Lifetime of Wonder. Albert Einstein never lost his sense of wonder. The universe remained to him a place filled with questions waiting to be explored. He did not believe that curiosity belonged only to childhood. He believed it was a lifelong companion. Every mystery invited another question. Every answer opened another door. The pursuit of understanding became not simply his profession, but his way of life. Chapter 14, The Responsibility of Knowledge. Einstein understood that knowledge carries responsibility. Scientific discovery has the power to improve lives, but it also carries consequences that must be considered carefully. Throughout his life, he encouraged people to think not only about what could be achieved, but also about how knowledge should be used. Wisdom is more than intelligence. It is the ability to pair understanding with responsibility. Progress becomes truly meaningful when it serves humanity. Chapter 15, A Legacy Beyond Science. Albert Einstein's influence reaches far beyond physics. His way of thinking has inspired scientists, engineers, teachers, entrepreneurs, inventors, and lifelong learners across generations. His legacy reminds us that one curious mind can inspire millions of others. Ideas have a remarkable quality. When shared, they continue growing long after their creator is gone. That may be one of the greatest forms of lasting impact. Chapter 16, The Timeless Lesson. Albert Einstein teaches us that extraordinary achievements begin with ordinary curiosity. Ask thoughtful questions. Think independently. Remain humble. Continue learning. And never lose your sense of wonder. The future is shaped by people who refuse to stop exploring. Whether we seek to understand the universe, build a business, create a new invention, or simply become wiser than we were yesterday, the journey begins the same way, with one question, and the courage to keep searching for the answer. Closing reflection. Albert Einstein changed far more than science. He changed the way humanity thinks about possibility. His life reminds us that true greatness is not measured only by discoveries. It is measured by the curiosity that drives them, the willingness to challenge assumptions, the patience to pursue understanding, and the humility to recognize that there is always more to learn. As we continue exploring the lives of history's greatest thinkers, inventors, entrepreneurs, investors, and visionaries, we find a common thread. They never stopped asking questions. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson Einstein left behind. Not simply to become more knowledgeable, but to become more curious. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and lessons of Albert Einstein. If you enjoyed this documentary, consider subscribing as we continue exploring the timeless wisdom of history's greatest minds. Because every legend leaves behind more than achievements. They leave behind ideas. Ideas that continue to illuminate the world. Until next time, keep learning from the legends